Yeah,
What happened? You get jumped?
not exactly.
Then what?
Janelle.
Janelle, help me.
Butterscotch, Ray Jr. II.
Oh, right. That's a baby mama that hates me.
They all hate you, Danny.
What, and this is how they love?
Actor Omar J. Dorsey is a modern-day Renaissance man. From comedy to drama to horror flicks, he does it all. Today we're getting some hang time with the man who puts the work in the phrase working actor, and he's just getting started.
You want to throw a curveball at people sometimes, so they're like, I didn't see Omar doing this. I throw a submarine, I can throw a curve, I can throw a fastball, slider, or changeup.
Hi everyone, I'm Patrick Stinson, and this is the Stream Team Spotlight. And the Spotlight is exactly where Omar J. Dorsey is 100% comfortable. He's a prolific actor with a mile-long list of credits and an impressive roster of high-profile co-stars and collaborators. And there's good reason Hollywood has its eyes on Omar.
If I ever end up in a vegetative state, promise you'll pull the plug.
I'm not committing murder so you can have your dignity.
It's not murder, it's assisted suicide.
When it's a black guy doing it to a white guy, it's murder. These guys just want a whole lot of money from the Super Bowl, and what are they gonna do with all this money? And then somebody steals all their money. So, yeah.
I'm tired, you tired?
I feel like crying.
A couple of guys is Ray, who I play, Omar, and Sebastian Maniscalco plays Danny.
I gotta get rid of you or my blood. How do I do that? I'm asking, Ray.
You don't.
I feel like, I don't know, Henry Kissinger?
Who?
We're a couple of best friends who are bookmakers. We go out, we take bets, we have our own underground old school thing, so you don't have to go to DraftKings or any of these online apps. It's like a mom and pop store, right? And people who are familiar with us, they don't want to go through the apps or anything. They want to come straight to us to place their bets. So then, with that, the money is not there sometimes. So we got to go knock on some people's doors and collect our money. The most time that Danny and Ray spend on the road is going by collecting money and going to people's houses. And what makes it so great is that we get the best guest stars. We get Charlie Sheen, we get Ray Romano. We get these great, tremendous people coming in every episode who we take bets from. So that's basically the show in a nutshell. And we go to these guys' houses. So you get to see how Danny lives, you get to see how Ray lives. Danny lives with his wife and his son, and now this season, his mother-in-law comes in. Ray lives with his grandmother, who is the shining star of his life, almost like my mother is in real life. And one of his baby mamas comes in to live, and she just creates all kind of hell.
You said one of his baby mamas.
Yes.
There are several.
There are 3 baby moms. We only see 2 of them, but there are 3 of them, and there are 4 kids. So yeah, we have a good time, man.
They're old school.
Yes.
But are they good at being bookies?
They are great at being bookies. But the thing about it, one bet, especially if you're a mom and pop shop, can set you back. So they got one bet that just beat them over the heads. But they're really good. They're great bookmakers. They got a little bit arrogant a little bit this season. So they're thinking that, oh man, we're high cotton, we're the best at what we do, and they got hit in the head really bad. They got hit in the head twice this season. One is giving somebody money and they trusted to diversify their funds, as it were. And then another one is they just took a bad bet.
Hilariously diving into the world of sports betting and the motley crew of people who call it home, Bookie is co-created by Chuck Lorre, one of the most successful producers in sitcom history. And Bookie's 2-season run on Max will live on forever in the streaming world, and the show marks a pivotal career moment for Omar. You've done so much stuff.
Right.
How is Bookie different from everything else you've done? And because I think it is.
It's quite different. I started out in comedy. I started out doing all these Todd Phillips movies. Started out doing Road Trip and School for Scoundrels and Starsky and Hutch. But then somewhere in my life, I switched over to doing drama. I think it's when before I met Ava DuVernay, I think it was when I did the movie The Blind Side and it was nominated for the Oscars. And I was like, okay, so people kept hiring me to do drama. So I stayed in that lane. I remember when my show Queen Sugar that I was on for 7 years ended, I told my wife, I said, man, I want to go back to doing some funny stuff, have fun. Even though Queen Sugar was one of the best times I ever had in my life, it's like I just want to go to work and just crack jokes all day. And this came across my table, I did it. And but it's so much different because it's like, hey, I'm a co-lead of a TV show now. You know, me and Sebastian are the leads of the show.
So you? I'm fine. Right? If I tell you, it opens me up to ridicule, and I'm in no damn mood.
Oh, come on. It can't be any worse than what I'm going through.
You want to bet?
See, no?
Done.
And it's just, me having a good time, just cracking jokes all day. And I don't know if I'm funny. Only time I ever know I'm funny is if I hear Chuck Lorre and Nick Bacai laughing in the background, ruining takes. I guess that was a pretty good take. So I'm not a comedian. I need the instant gratification because I'm a theater actor, so I just need to know if it's funny. And when I hear them laughing, or I see Sebastian breaking character, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that was a funny delivery.
What's it like working with him as he is a professional stand-up comic?
Man, Sebastian is funny. He's so funny. It's so much fun working with him, right? I remember the first time we met each other, we were doing a chemistry test for the show. And he was, it felt like we just laid right into place as if we were like friends for the last 30 years, like we went to college or something together. But now working with that cat, man, it's so easy. It's just so easy. And when it's just me and him, and it's a lot of days it's just me and him, just doing all our talky stuff. Those are my fun. Those are the best days. I love working with Grandma too. Grandma's amazing. But Arnisha Walker's really good. But yeah, working with Sebastian just feels like, this is what the show really is.
Is everything we see in Bookie, is it on the page, or you guys?
It's definitely on the page. Because Chuck has a rhythm to the way Chuck and Nick Lorre and Nick Bacai have a rhythm to the way they write. Chuck Lorre is a songwriter. He used to write with Earth, Wind & Fire. He's a songwriter. His stuff is rhythmic. It's rhythmic. It reminds me a lot of August Wilson. It's a jazz to it. So, I might throw some stuff in, like a little aside or something, and if he's laughing, then I know it's something that we can keep. But then I know his rhythm now. But no, man, the stuff that he writes it's very intentional. That's why the episodes are only 22 minutes, because it's very intentional. He knows exactly what he wants conveyed,
You take my bet, I don't take all of you fishing on my boat.
You threatening us?
Yes. Are you stupid?
It's such an easy watch, too. Like, you can just sit down and watch 3, 4, 5 episodes in a row.
You can watch a whole season and you don't even know you watched the whole season. I was like, for 3 hours, I'm just sitting there watching the whole thing. And I'm like, I just watched the whole season of it. Yeah, it's like almost like a Quentin Tarantino movie. You just watch the whole thing at one time.
Okay, when we come back, more from Omar Dorsey. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching The Stream Team. There's still much more Omar J. Dorsey to go around. He's been putting in the hard work for decades, always with passion and purpose, and surrounding himself with the best in the business. Let's talk about Ava DuVernay. You mentioned her.
Yes.
She's a big fan of yours, and you guys have worked together quite a few times. What's that relationship like?
Brother and sister. We've been working together since Selma. It's 10 years ago. We had our 10-year anniversary for Selma 2 weeks ago. Didn't even realize it came out 10 years ago. But I've been working with her. I've probably done 4 projects with her. I did Queen Sugar for 7 years. I did Cherish the Day, I did When They See Us, and I did Selma. And I tell you, she was like, Omar, you're my good luck charm. Whenever you're in something, it's very successful. I said, well, I need to be in everything you do. So everything that she does, she tries to put me in. Sometimes the schedules work, sometimes they don't work. But like, it's one of my best friends. She sees me the way that I want everybody to see me. I told her that. I said, when I did Queen Sugar, I played this loving husband, this doting husband who was just a pillar of the community.
Hollywood.
I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong bells are going to chime.
People still call me Hollywood to this day, man. And it's like, and I love that character so much. I love what that man represents so much that, it's something I'm going to walk around with for the rest of my life. So.
But that wasn't just a character. Like, Ava called you in to be Hollywood.
I remember I was doing a movie in the Bahamas, and she called me. She said, I want you to read the script, tell me what you think. I read the pilot for Queen Sugar. I was like, this is awesome. She said, yeah, what do you think about the character Hollywood? I was like, that's an amazing character. It's my favorite character on there. She's like, I want you to play it. I was like, okay, cool. Well, when do I need to audition for it? She's like, no, I'm telling you, I want you to do it. It's me and Oprah, we're doing it together. And we want you to play this character. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I've never been offered a series regular just out of nowhere. So I was like, what? And that, honestly, man, that character really changed my life, man. It made people view me from a different perspective. I had just got finished doing Ray Donovan, and I was playing a total gangster badass, right? And I said, I don't want to play another gangster. I said, I'm cool on that. Everything people kept offering me was gangster roles. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I probably missed out on a whole lot of money, but it was a whole year that I didn't do any gangster roles. And when that came across the table, I was like, well, this is the reason I didn't do it, because I have to be more selective on what I want to do. Even with Bookie, I don't play a gangster. I play a good dude who's a bookmaker. We're not shooting anybody. We're not busting any kneecaps. You know, it's like we're just have a job that's like maybe not an honest job, but it's a job. It serves the community. So yeah, man, when Ava gave me that role, man, you know, I had a tear to my eye when she called. She said, we're gonna call with an offer for you tomorrow. It's like, what? I didn't even know that could happen.
You mentioned Selma earlier. In anticipation of talking to you, I rewatched Selma just like 2 days ago.
Don't worry.
Such a good movie. Still, I mean, more pertinent now than ever.
It's so good. You know, we had that, like I said, we had a 10-year reunion a couple of weeks ago, and the cast in that movie is ridiculous. Nobody really knew who we were. Nobody knew Coleman Domingo at that time. This man been nominated for 2 Oscars. Nobody knew Tessa Thompson. No, she's like in the biggest movies in the world. Nobody really knew Lakeith Stanfield, Oscar-nominated actors, Stephen James, Andre Holland. People knew Wendell Pierce, people knew Niecy Nash. They didn't know Niecy Nash like that. They didn't know myself. It's like this cast was, what Ava did when she put that cast together, she was like, I was just putting together a group of people who I really want to be around for the next 2 months that will make my job easier. She's a lot like a general manager, like a head coach of a football or basketball team. She puts the right pieces together. And the movie is so good. She did such a great job on that film. You know, I was a little upset that she didn't get nominated for Best Director, but we got nominated for Best Picture. David got nominated for Best Actor, and Common won for Best Original Song. I was in the studio with him not too far away from here when he and John Legend were making the song, and I told him, I said, you're gonna win an Oscar for this one. Like, you think so? I said, man, I know so. I said, as a matter of fact, when you win the Oscar, I need to take a picture of me holding the Oscar. And I got a picture of me holding the Oscar, the Grammy, and the Golden Globe for that song, for Glory.
Nice. I want to talk about that because I've noticed when you're always very good at giving other people their flowers.
Right.
Like I heard you talk about Common and them winning. I've heard you talk about Sandra Bullock, and you knew she was going to win.
I knew it.
Like, you give other people. You're a fan of other actors as well.
I'm a fan of talent. I'm a fan of art. Right. I love artists. Anytime I can see, I'm an artist, so I have an appreciation for fine art. Anytime I can see somebody doing something brilliant, I might not be able to know what a good football play is, know what a good, putting together a good basketball inbound play, but I can see a piece of art and say, man, this is magnificent, and I know what it's going to be. When we were doing The Blind Side, I remember it was a graduation scene, and I remember meeting Leanne Toohey, the one who Sandra Bullock played, and I was like, yo, she's acting just like this woman for real, like, all the mannerisms. And I told everybody, I said, Sandra Bullock's gonna win an Oscar. They were laughing at me, like, Sandra Bullock's gonna. I said, I'm telling you, man. Like, I see the work. I'm here, I worked with her for like 4 or 5 days, and I just see the work she's putting in. I see the character that she created. And I just knew what it was as soon as I saw it. And it's the same way even with Sebastian now. Like, just to see his growth as an actor, tremendous stand-up comedian, maybe the most successful touring stand-up comedian in the game. But him as an actor, the growth that he's made from season 1 to season 2, it's been astronomical. And I tell him that all the time, man. You as an artist, you want to feel like you're appreciated, because a lot of people are like, oh man, you're famous, this and another. But if another person's like, yo, the work that you're doing, the intricate work that I see you doing, I need to let you know what it is. Because, I want people to tell me, if I'm doing it right or if I'm doing it wrong, I want people to tell me.
Is there some type of role that you want to play that you haven't had the chance to do it yet?
It's to me, I think it's easier to play characters who are not a part of history. Now, luckily, I've played James Cleveland in Aretha. I played James Orange in Selma, and I played Illuminate Brath in When They See Us. That takes work. I would love to play a couple of more biopics. I would love to play Thelonious Monk. I would love to play Paul Robeson. Those are two characters who I would really love to play because it's going to take so much work. I've been researching them for my whole life, but for me to really get in deep and to dig deep, it'll take at least a year and a half for me to really get everything that I know I can bring out into it. So those are two characters I would love to play.
Stick around, we're coming back with more of the Stream Team Spotlight, Omar J. Dorsey. The world of entertainment is changing right before our eyes. For example, the Stream Team, this show is strictly about streaming content. And for a talented actor like Omar, the future is all about being open to a new way of doing things. You've been in this so long, I want to ask you if you're optimistic about the business, the acting, movies, television.
You know, there's so many different platforms now, so many different places that we can go. It's funny, when I first started out, not even when I first started out, when I was a kid, all we really had was the three networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, right? And then you had TBS, but it just showed reruns. Then, you know, as we go on, you get HBO, but what they showed was old movies until they think Dream On or maybe First and 10 were like the first original programming. Now you have so many different platforms that we can go to. So I think storytelling, this is what I'm about, storytelling. There's different places where storytelling can live now, and that's what makes me excited the most, because I might have a project that 30, 40 years ago wouldn't have been able to live in just regular network television. There's a niche for it now. There's a place for it to live, whether it's BET Plus, whether it's Max, whether it's Hulu or Amazon or wherever, whether it's YouTube. There's a place for it to live. So I think the stories can be told anywhere now, and that's what really excites me.
Yeah, this whole show that we're doing, we're all about streaming.
Yes.
And I was able to go back and look at so much of your work because it's still streaming.
It's still streaming, and that's the beauty of it. Now, the tricky part of it is like we don't get paid as much as we used to in residuals. But, you know, me as a fan, I can go back. For some reason, I just had the itch to watch Demolition Man the other day. I wanted to see Simon Phoenix. I just wanted to see Wesley Snipes just go and be the craziest man I've ever seen. So it's like, well, where's it at? Oh, it's streaming here. So I went and watched it exactly where it was, man. And it's like, I have all the apps. So I can just it's so on demand at this point that you can just basically watch whatever you want to, whenever you want to. And that's a good thing about it.
What's been the best advice you have ever been given as far as career and acting goes?
Sam Jackson told me actors act, so always act, always. It's a reason that Sam had all those movies, right? He was always in a movie, like for 12, 15 years. It seemed like everything that came out, Sam was in. He's like, because I always act, I'm always acting, I'm always doing something. So he was like, actors always act. I don't care if you're doing voiceovers, I don't care if you're doing stage, I don't care if you're doing movies, television, cartoons, or whatever it is. He's like, always work on your craft, always be acting. That's the best advice I've ever received.
And then when it comes to this business, what's the one thing you know for sure about it?
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, it was times that I have friends who sprinted out fast and they got it so quick, and it's like then they burned out fast. You know, they just were right there. This is what I do. This is what I do. But don't you want to try other things and don't just play that same kind of character? And so they might be playing that same kind of character, but they're not doing it on a bigger stage than they can be on. I treat this whole thing like a marathon. I treated it like, yo, we're gonna slow walk it. We're gonna work as much as we can. We're gonna do all that we can, but let's not do what these people want you to do. You want to throw a curveball at people sometimes, so they're like, I didn't see Omar doing this. You know, even when I played James Cleveland, I remember Nima Barnett, she called me, and it's like, Omar, what are you doing? I said, I'm chilling, I'm in Atlanta. She's like, do you want to play James Cleveland? I was like, yes, I want to play James Cleveland. I want to play James Cleveland in the Aretha movie. I talked to the director when they were doing the Aretha movie. We were shooting a movie and a miniseries at the same time. And it's funny because I called Cynthia Erivo, who played Aretha in the miniseries, I called her months before. I said, hey, who's playing James Cleveland? She was like, they have somebody in mind, but I don't know. I said, why, do you want to play him? I was like, yeah. And then 3 months later, Nima Barnett and Anthony Hemingway called me and were like, yo, yeah, could you come in and do James Cleveland? So that's something that nobody ever saw me doing, is playing a flamboyant gospel singer. So I love doing that. You know, I went to performing art high school. My mother was a theater director. I had been in class since I was 3 years old, and I always wanted to play act. I want to play act now. You know what I'm saying? I read lines with my friends. They have an audition, and I get so into it, and I play the opposite character. I'm like, man, I want to play this character, but you got to make sure it's something you want to do. It's not just for the glory. It's not just for the money. Make sure it's what you love to do. Have a love for it. Don't try to get instant gratification. This is not a microwave career. This is a fine dining career. It's gonna be coursed out. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take time. I didn't really start making money. Man, I didn't start really making money until like 12 or 13 years ago. I was making enough money to survive, but I didn't really start making money until I was in my mid to late 30s. So it's like, this is something that I really love to do. I love doing this.
And a big thank you to Omar for hanging out with us. And thanks to all of you for watching. I'm Patrick Stinson. We'll see you next time on The Stream Team.